Hi, hello. Welcome to the technically backdoor pilot of Here Comes a New Challenger, a fighting game podcast. I'm calling it a backdoor because this technically isn't what I wanted it to be, but Strive happened. The Strive closed beta happened, the CBT this week. So I figured I might as well just make it about this and I'll do my actual idea for the pilot some other time down the line. So, I am Garrett, by the way, and I'm joined by three of my friends who also have played the CBT via random lottery, and I am joined by James.
Well, you should keep casually calling it CBT.
Yeah, that's CBT, man. The Guilty Gear closed beta test.
Don't worry about it.
I'm not gonna worry about it.
And nothing to do with cognitive behavior therapy.
I mean, technically it is, because conditioning.
Yeah, there you go.
It's Guilty Gear CBT, man.
The only conditioning I'm getting here is like hearing like hard rock in the back of my head with someone screaming cock and ball torture every time I hear someone's.
Oh, that, okay.
I've been conditioned and I don't like it.
Yeah, you gotta get that counter hit. Okay, we're also joined by Paul.
Hello, yeah. I'm Paul.
And
Played Guilty Gear for quite a while, and yeah, keep going.
And last and certainly not least, or you can say least depending on how you like him, Zach.
Hey.
I love you, buddy.
Sure.
Okay, so we're gonna get into the CBT, but before we do, we are going to go ahead and just go over all four of us and just talk about how long we've been playing the series Guilty Gear as a whole, because I think that'll be a good experience. So everyone knows how long we've been into the series, because that idea, of it'll probably change, so people can know like our differing opinions and how they'll change depending on if we're veterans or if we're like brand new, stuff like that. I'll go ahead and go first. I have been playing Guilty Gear for technically 4 years. I have been playing it for longer, I guess, because I played #reload or sharp reload back in high school. But I only played it once because I had those really bad PC controllers, that look like a plug and play, or that just straight don't look like actual controllers and do not work.
Yeah, it was like the Steam controller, or like
it wasn't a Steam controller. It was like this was before the Steam controller came out. It's like the really really bad third-party controllers you buy for like $10 at a flea market.
Oh,
Yes, I kind of know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't have any of them near me, so I can't really. Anyway, they're really bad, so I never played #reload a whole lot. But eventually, I started playing the Exard series via Revelator back in 2016 with my first year in college, and then I fell in love with the series, and now here I am.
#reload.
Yeah,
It's a
sharp, whatever.
Yeah, there you go.
I can tweet #reload and have it be Guilty Gear.
Yeah, it's just a music thing.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's fine.
And whoever wants to go next can go next. We don't need to go in like a specific line.
I was gonna let James go because he introduced himself first.
I gotcha. I guess it also makes sense because I played Guilty Gear around the same time as, because like my first introduction was just playing Exard with the buds my freshman year of college. That was like my first introduction to Guilty Gear. I had only been introduced like to the AFGC only recently, watching the Central Fiction Grand Finals. And God, what year was that? I remember it was Fenrich and Carl.
Yeah, that's
in Grand Finals.
2017.
Yeah, all I remember is I thought Fenrich was so fucking cool. Mainly because it has a cool ass name, and like I liked Jin at the time, just like aesthetic. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. But I've been into Guilty Gear around the same time as you, Garrett, about 3 years. I've played the earlier games, mainly just like Plus R, just because they have them at the local. But most of my time in Guilty Gear has been in Exard, yeah.
Okay, I'll go next. I've probably played the game the longest, or like been in the series the longest. The first game that got me into the series was #reload, and that was all the way back in high school. I'm a little bit older than these guys as well. It was probably around 2004, 2005-ish. And I didn't really get into the competitive scene until Revelator came out, and that's when I sort of started following people. But I did just pour tons of time into the game. So my neutral was decent by that time, just because you sort of get that just by playing the game. And then I actually labbed things out after Revelator more. And I've sort of followed every entry in the series, even the character action RTS game that no one talks about.
Guilty Gear 2, baby.
Yeah, Guilty Gear 2 is great. It's the best arena fighter RTS that exists.
It's also the only.
The only one that exists. So yeah, not a high bar to clear, but... Alright, and Zach? I'll leave it up to you.
I am absolutely the newest addition to this Guilty Gear setting. In all honesty, I've probably been into the game series for about less than a year. I think my first introduction to this series was, the EVO 2019 teaser trailer for Strive. Jesus Christ. But ever since I joined the FGC and met up with Garrett and all of the rest of you guys, I've been basically on a mad dash to try and catch up and, check out the rest of the series, because I really enjoy it. Haven't been playing competitive fighting games as much as the rest of you guys. I probably started with BB Tag about half a year before, but I've been getting into a lot more fighting games as time goes on, especially in the last half of the year. I'm still a bit behind when it comes to a lot of the terms and, events and whatnot. I'm not as hardcore as a lot of the rest of you guys, but I'm trying to catch up as best as I can. And I really enjoy my time with this stuff.
I was gonna say, don't discount your opinion at all, because Arxis is definitely aiming for sort of your type of crowd with this game. So your opinion is very important here.
I've been able to tell that a bit with the beta, but we can go into that later.
Yeah, not with us guilty goomers.
Guilty goomer.
Just put boomer on everything.
Yeah, guilty goomers.
Honestly, that just sounds kind of gross. It doesn't slide off. It doesn't slide off the tongue like Blaze Boomer does.
Are we already that old? That's a term.
Yeah, I'm a Blaze Boomer. I've been playing it since Flaming Trigger.
It makes me feel super old.
Yeah, I'm literally the Blaze Boomer in the club.
Dang. I remember being sad when Blaze Blue came out, because Guilty Gear, Arxis lost the rights to Guilty Gear at that point. And I was like, this is no true replacement. I was like, this is still kind of cool though, but
it was a
very different.
Of vitamin C instead of orange juice, like a little Flintstone gummy. But like Flintstone gummies, they're still pretty fucking rad.
No, Blaze Blue's got is a good game in its own right. I'm just bad at it.
Like Flintstones Gummies. Sometimes you're good with them, sometimes you're bad. Anyway.
All fighting games in general.
Yeah, every fighting game is just a Flintstones gummy if you think about it.
What?
Ape.
Sometimes it's grape. Sometimes orange. You don't know.
Everyone's got their own different flavors they prefer.
Are you saying that?
And sometimes it just DPs you.
Are you saying that Are you saying that fighting games are Flintstone gummies because I shouldn't be eating all of them at the same time in one day?
I mean, it depends. If you have the puck, where all of the gummies merge together via intense heat.
Sorry, the puck.
The puck, yeah. It's I saw that on Twitter a few years ago. Oh, somebody I was following was like, should I eat the gummy puck? And it's a puck of Flintstone gummies that were all merged together via intense heat, and it looked like a hockey puck, but it was made out of Flintstone gummies.
Perfect.
But if it was in a hockey puck form, then I guess you can just eat them all in once and become super powered. That's what Flintstone gummies do to you. But yeah, or you can just take a few a day, which you're supposed to do. Get your hair vitamins, vitamin D. I think that's what that does. Anyway, enough about Flintstone gummies. Since we've introduced how we've all been introduced, and since we've talked about how we've all been into Guilty Gear for as long as we have, I think it's time for us to start talking about the CBT of Guilty Gear Strive that happened this weekend. It was Friday through Sunday. with Thursday, I believe,
Friday
having
through Sunday.
Yeah, Friday for Sunday, while Thursday had the versus
That's a
offline
24
mode.
24-hour offline mode, yeah.
The only day that was 24 hours, which I want to say that's weird, but that's also normal because most.
I mean,
only
there
have
was
for a
an
few
instance
hours.
where it went back to offline, but
Yeah, that was more emergency response.
Yeah. So basically, a 4-day event. Hours are a little bit weird for us because we're in the south of the United States, so ours was like 10 p.m. to 3 a.m., 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., and then 5 a.m. to
5
10
a.m.
a.m.
to 10 a.m.
But I think we're all in our calls together when we're doing it, so we can all like get matches of each other instead of having to play with random people that we didn't know.
Yeah.
But because of that, we all were able to play it, and I think it'll be fair to give us all to talk about our general thoughts on the beta before we jump into the big stuff with it. And my thoughts, I guess, on it, general idea, is that the beta is good for the most part. The game itself, I should say, from the beta is good. I liked it. I was pleasantly surprised, but as a whole, the beta was a little bit of a mess, especially at the beginning. And the lobby I will talk about later, but to put it bluntly, for right now, it was not very good, and I would argue it's kind of terrible, but with some decent ideas in there. And I'll explain that whenever we start talking about the lobby in full.
Yeah, no, dude, that lobby was a fucking mess, dude.
Yep. Touching tips the whole time, just waiting. All right, we're going to get a match. We're going to get it. Up, someone else walked up. All right, it failed.
Yeah, no, I saw like this one tweet where everyone's like comparing it to other games. I know like the big comparison was to Habbo, but like some dude was on there making posts like, "Oh yeah, Guilty Gear's new lobby system. It's Pokemon. You meet eyes, you got to battle." It's like so inconsistent because everyone's trying to like group up on each other and touch swords together.
Yeah, they want to touch tips in the CBT.
Yeah,
Oh my
you
God,
fail
dude.
with one person over and over, and you're like, all right, maybe I'll just try a pile and see if that works. And sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yep. So, James, what is your general thoughts on the beta?
Like gameplay wise or
In general, like what I did, kind of like talking about the gameplay wise, like what you thought about it in general, and then also the beta as like a whole.
honestly, I really liked it, not gonna lie. I mean, I do just have I think they could use some changes, definitely, but just like me casually playing Axel for 4 days, I thought it was pretty fun. The game is definitely different from Exart, I can say that much. Like the movement is toned down, and the like Gatling system and combo system is really fucking toned down. Like a lot of the combos in this game are painfully easy to do. So it's just like, I don't know. I wasn't feeling a lot of the movement differences though, because I play at. So a lot of my movement is already just like IAD and throwing out poke. I do know that the way they changed his kit, a lot of his like Gatlings and pressure resets are gone. So like the character himself is reduced to a lot more of just like 3 hits, hoping for like a frame trap, or just spamming 6H. So I don't know, dude. I just miss Axel 3P. Like, I think that if they just like tone down the damage like just a little bit, I think it'd be like really fun though.
Yeah, but there are certain situations where the damage seems to be an issue. And for the longer combos, I notice it scales a lot. You just wind up getting the reward of the wall break or whatever else on top of that. And I think that's very intentional to their sort of philosophy of let's try and get people's combos doing the same thing. Also, like, Soul's Wild Throw doing a lot of damage. He got a full combo in Exerd off of that. So, like, if someone actually knew how to convert off of that, then you still took just about as much damage.
True, but like that's cool though. Like, so okay, like I see people making that argument, like Soul's Wild Throw does the same amount of damage in Exart if you just do the combo off of it. Well, that makes
You have
sense.
to know that combo though. Is the
He
thing.
earned that damage, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
one can argue that he didn't earn the damage in either game, but at least one of them is like more forgivable just because it looks flashy.
Yeah, and you can like spend meter on the middle of it to go drag and install and stuff, and that's all cool.
Yeah, and like meanwhile in Strive, you see like some dude that's like, I like grapplers, I want to play Soul, and they just go dunk for 40% of your health, and you're like, haha, I am the best player.
Yeah,
it's a different feeling.
It is very much a different feeling. I'm saying that's where ArcSys is coming from on that. I do think they should tone down the command grab, because that's a lot of reward, especially in a game where like risk builds so quickly. And you have to block Soul quite a lot, because his block strings can be fairly tight. So it puts a lot more emphasis on like not getting touched in the first place, which still has always been an ArcSys Guilty Gear thing. Don't be blocking, or don't let yourself get to a point where you have to be blocking in someone's face. Or faultless defense them so that you can push them away. That's always been the other way to avoid command grabs, which a lot of people forget to do. Sorry, we went from your general thing to me going on a spiel.
No, yeah, that's good. Go for it.
It'll lead into your general thoughts on the game and beta.
Yeah, well, nothing more needs to be said about the lobby. It was an absolute mess, and just their network connectivity issues and being kicked out of things. I guess one other thing. The rank up, rank down, kicking you to an adjacent lobby when you're already in a lobby above your... That's why. Why even do that? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Especially near the end of the beta, when only one lobby was ever filled with people. It would kick you out into an adjacent lobby, and then you're the only person in that lobby. So it's just absolutely... I can't think of why they would even think to do that.
It's so weird that they put like the ranking system in the public lobby.
Instead of just
like, because it was getting...
Oh,
yeah. Like, I was gonna say, it was getting like ridiculous near the end, because it was getting to the point where like I could only access lobbies 9 and 10. It's just like...
And that's the thing, I think you still keep ranking up and down even when you're like at 10 and 1. It just keeps booting you to adjacent lobbies.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the case for me, because I kept ranking down even at floor 1.
Yeah, I remember that.
Where could I go? Where could I go?
Yeah, we eventually made the joke with Zach that it showed that he's got ranked down, that they would just kick him out of the beta.
The beta just deletes itself from the PlayStation.
Sorry, you can no longer play May. You must suffer. Anyway, Zach, what is your
general thoughts on
beta?
From what little I have to compare it to Xrd, it does feel a bit simpler game-wise. Like, I'm actually kind of okay with it, mainly because it's easier for me to get into it, get combos in, but I'm not entirely sure if I prefer it over more complex stuff. Because from what I've seen watching games otherwise with like more combo strings and a lot of the other stuff you guys mentioned, it's, I don't know, more impressive to watch and try and master than what we currently have in Strive. Plus taking 40% off, plus taking 40% of damage in a single grab is interesting.
I wish I had a command grab.
Torkai.
The only character in that fucking game right now without a command grab.
Hey, don't worry, you have 214 mid.
Don't know. I hate you.
You no longer have grinders.
They took your Greek sever. They took your Greek sever. They took your grab. What are they going to take next? Your character slot?
They probably will.
Yeah, honestly, like...
He's going to get removed from the game and get replaced with, like...
You got Shock State now.
Yeah, Shock State's cool, but... Like, every time I played against a Kai, he just seems, like, really dry as a character. Like, every Kai I played against only ever did, like, 2 things. And that's just, like, string into a Silly Slide or, like, IAD.
Yeah, that's all he could really do.
Yeah, like, really the only, like, cool tech I've seen so far was, something I saw on Twitter where on Wake Up a guy would air Fireball and then RC, and then use the momentum from the RC to shift left and right to make it cross up. Which I thought was cool as fuck. but I haven't seen Kai do any other thing like that. Like in the dry as fuck character.
To be fair, it is the beta, and he's a Shoto, so people are going to play him like that. It's day negative 200, so people haven't quite discovered the interesting tech of the game.
Yeah.
And the more unconventional characters, you can sort of piece their tools together a little bit more, I think. I remember, even in Guilty Gear Sharp Reload, if you Roman canceled his charge stun edge and then jumped forward, it came up and followed with you and then would be in the air. And that just didn't make any sense how that worked. So
Don't worry about it.
he used to have some pretty crazy weird stuff.
They should give him back some crazy weird stuff. At least
we'll see.
give me the ability to make 214K and overhead again. Let me...
make Shock State turn it into an overhead. There you go.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I thought that was a thing at first because I was playing against the goddamn AI, and they don't block.
The AI just doesn't block.
Because I'm like, oh, it's an overhead. That's cool. And then I remember I played against either, I think the first human I fought against was my friend Blackjack, and I'm pretty sure he blocked it. I'm like, oh, it's a mid. Oh no.
Oh no, you're not an AI.
Because he blocked it low, I'm pretty sure, and so it's like, oh no.
Then you just felt like that Kai image I put in the group chat.
Yeah, no.
Where it's like Kai like slowly falling over and dying.
Basically, I miss my Greed Sever, man. I know it's a meme with me to say that I miss Greed Sever, but I do now. Even though the kick seems like it's going to be good later on. I'm sure the kick is going to be good in this game, but come on, I miss my 190 frame unblockable that takes forever to start up. Is rainbow, Kai is screaming on the top of his lungs, and then nobody's blocks it still.
Yeah. That was a big fun part of the character, and then I get ground bounces into a combo.
Yeah, you get a combo off of it. I don't get a combo off of anything now, unless it's a normal, normal people.
Or shock state into
shock state
one of your
DP.
projectiles or something. Or counter hits, which I guess is its own subject.
Yeah, I miss Great Sever. Anyway, beta. So, Thursday was the 24-hour comm festival, which I do think it was I want to say that's my second least favorite day that we had. It was fun to mess around, I guess, but if you ever wanted to lab, you wouldn't be able to because the AI is either too stupid and wouldn't block, or they'll just DP the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah, with how dumb they made the AI, at that point it would have made sense just to give everyone training mode right off the bat.
Yeah.
Because that's essentially everyone's using it for.
I remember somebody talking about that actually. They should have given us training mode. I'm like, yeah, but no online beta's ever had training mode as a thing, sadly.
That's...
Yeah, they're really afraid of doing that because they're afraid people will break the game. That's my theory behind why.
Yeah, I think that makes sense because Granblue didn't have it, Dragon Ball didn't have it, BB Tag didn't have it. I think BB Tag's beta was had the tutorial, the very basic tutorial of how to do stuff, but I think that was it.
Yeah. I thought the BB Tag beta had the same thing where you couldn't have training mode, but you were able to fight against.
Versus.
I remember repetitively queuing up against Ragna or something like that.
But no, I remember it was a Yukiko around the time because Yukiko was just the dumbest AI.
Oh yeah, no, and they could make her heal.
I think you could do versus 2-player during the beta. Actually, now that I remember it, and you could have player 2 be Yukiko and just match DP with it.
That's right.
It was so annoying to do lapping for. I'm happy that you had that exploit, but it was so annoying to do a combo because of Yukiko being out of fucking paper mache and have to wait 5 minutes of just okay, time to heal, and just hear her be change or whatever she says, and hear the sound effect. I was okay, time to do it again.
Yeah, the Strife beta, I think, pretty much wound up getting me into Twitter more because I was just all right, let's follow these Faust players and see what they come up with, and all these other players and see what combos they come up so I can sort of see the flow of it, because they're spending a lot more time being frustrated against the computer than I am.
It was really fun to try and play the game for the first time because well, this was the first time the quote unquote public was able to get their hands on the demo at all. That was tossed their way from like Arc Revo, right? That's
Yeah,
where the
it was
demo first
available at
was?
Arc Revo. If you participated in the Arc Revo one, you got introduction to the CBT automatically. Because Blackjack and I did stuff. A Ragna player, not Ragna, a Soul player that we played with, and also a good friend of mine also got in via that. I don't think Frosty Faustings might have as well.
Frosty Faustings had it, I think.
And
Yes,
I think if you did at Frosty, you got the beta access as well.
Unless you're Lant, because you put fuck Elfelt in your survey.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
why did he do that?
He went to the test at Frosty Faustings. Where people were like guaranteed to get into like the most recent beta test.
Yeah.
And he was like one of the only people I know that actually didn't get into the beta test because like so many people got in.
Like anyone who applied that I know just to the online one got in too.
Yeah, I remember that being like legitimately like anxiety inducing for me because like, oh, I won't be able to play Guilty Gear. That's a bummer. Because I was thinking like, I'm probably not going to get in because like maybe it's like random, so there's a chance. And then I remember one of my friends in their Discord said, "Hey, so I also went to the beta at Arc Revo, and I don't play fighting games, so and we're roommates. So if you just want my code, you can just have it." I'm like, "Oh, thank you so much. That'd be so great." And then like the day after, I think I got the email saying, "Hey, idiot, here's your code."
Yeah, almost everyone except like one or two people that signed up got in. From what I've been able to see.
The same sort of situation with Granblue as well, whenever that was going around.
I think it was like if you signed up for it, you got it. Because I remember signing up for Granblue and then getting that.
Wait. How did the Granblue beta work? Were you able to do training?
No.
No.
It was lobbies, but it was Granblue lobbies, so a good lobby. Arcade machines.
You're in the airship with the arcade cabinets, and you just hop on a cabinet with someone and play them.
I gotcha.
I think that one also
And
had
it worked, and the netcode was alright. It was as good as it is now. Like, everything was functional and good.
Look, that sounds like a good lobby. That's not what we first dealt with.
I mean, it was a good lobby, but like, I think it was also weird hours too, because I'm pretty sure it was like, because it was a Japanese game, all the hours are really weird, because I remember only being able to play it like one day, because the other ones are either too late in the night for me to, or too early in the morning.
Character selection was limited because I remember I was playing Fairy then. Yeah,
it was Fairy, Lancelot, Catalina, and Gran, and that was it.
I mean,
basically the Shotos and then Charlotta and Fairy.
Yeah, it was only like 5 characters were available because I think that was right before they announced Percival.
I just realized all of those characters are top tier in that game. Or like were thought of to be top tier at least at some point. I think Charlotta's people are putting her down a little bit more, but she's still a gorilla.
Yeah, Charlotta and Catalina have been just like swapping places slowly.
And Gran and Fairy are still up there at top.
Because Gran has the power of the Tims, and Fairy has the power of the armpit.
And then the power of the instant overhead into full combo because Gigi.
Oh god, I'm so glad I don't have to see that on my Twitter feed anymore. Like, the amount of fucking posts that were literally just top text Fairy armpit, bottom text Fairy armpit. Oh god, there's so many of them, dude.
I'm glad I was not on Twitter at that point.
Dude, horniness is a sickness in the FGC.
Yeah, one of my friends was like, "Don't worry, I don't post too much horny stuff." And then there's like a picture of like Shermie. I'm like, "Come on, man!"
What? Okay,
in like scantily clad like bikini.
No, I will allow that one.
I mean, Shermie's cool. That's fine, but
yeah, I'm not actually complaining about it. Some people are more vocal about it than others.
I gotcha.
Yeah, sometimes you're like super quiet and you're like it, and just leave it at that, or you're Red Blade.
I don't want to talk about that.
There's two people. There's two types of horny people in the anime FGC. You're timid about it, or you're Red Blade.
Yeah, you're the guy that just like quietly like retweets horny posts, or you're actively like fantasizing on your timeline.
I am glad I don't follow him. I'm glad I'm not a Wagner player.
Nah, dude. You should follow him. It's fucking wild.
I'll just peek over and glance at him through the
Like
search
the
bar, I
fucking
guess.
you'll just be the fucking guy from Tool Time, from Home Improvement, the dude who's like in the little who's helping Tim Allen, you know?
Oh yeah, you never see his face.
Yeah.
He just always peeks over the fence.
Yeah, that's just you. You're just Tim Allen's friend, Mr. Tom Allen.
Tim Allen is Red Blade.
I can imagine that actually. Like speaking of Home Improvement, like some of the players I know, especially that like pretty much all they do on Twitter is like 90% like horny retweets. They're just like looking at their phone of their perfectly curated, I only follow 18 and up artists Twitter feed and just making like Tim Allen noises like, like retweeting all this shit.
Who knew horny people were just Tim Allen in disguise?
Titty! On the feet it goes.
No wonder they say horny people have no rights.
Hey, no one said that. You said that.
Yeah.
I've heard other people say that.
We don't shame here, Zach.
I do.
The only thing we shame here is the Guilty Gear Strive lobby, which was a travesty.
The J2 lobby.
The avatars did actually grow on me over time.
Yeah, so that brings us to day 2.
If they were sitting at cabinets, I'd be happier.
Which was Friday, also known as the worst day of the beta because it was the first day of the beta.
Yes. That was absolutely trite.
It was a absolute train wreck dumpster fire.
Like, during the offline mode, we could play the game. We could try. The AI was garbage, but we could play the game. Day 1 of the online portion of it, we couldn't get into the game from what we were able, what I was able to tell.
We barely played anything at the beginning.
I heard you guys maybe played 1 or 2 games.
I think I played like 2. I played 1 with Blackjack at the beginning because I was able to actually find him, which I will get into why this lobby is a nightmare. And I played with, I forget who else I played with. I think it was either Troy or it was I Did Stuff, I think. And that was it. It was like 2 games, if that. Because I kept getting booted from the lobbies and disconnected and not able to get in. And then the worst part about the lobbies, if you haven't been like looking into Strive beta and you're getting in here because you're just like, I want to hear these people talk about Guilty Gear. Basically, when you enter the lobby, you have to do a online match with a bot. After you beat the bot, you are given a rank from 1 to 10. That is your lobby number, basically. You can go to any of the lobbies above you if they're stronger. However, if you get like rank 4, you cannot go to 3, 2, and 1. So if your friend got rank 2, they're going to have to go up to you. That sounds fine at first, but it also isn't like Dragon Ball, where you get to pick the server. It will randomly give you a room.
You just have to hope and pray that this version of that floor's room is the same one that your friends are in if you're trying to find them.
If not, it is an absolute nightmare to try to figure out, because I remember the first day was just us frantically trying to find one another and just not being able to.
We couldn't even get logged in to begin with half the time. I even blue screened the entire game at one point, trying to get in.
Yeah,
just trying to open the menu or whatever.
Yeah, I remember hearing people like actually just like hard crashes. I didn't get any hard crashes. I just got a lot of, hey, you've been disconnected, idiot, and then having to wait forever to get back in and then not being able to find anybody that I was looking for.
Okay, I got that like a few times. My issue is just that like every single time my game crashed or like booted me back to the main menu, it made it look like a rage quit.
Yes.
So like I am like, oh, he's 1 round up. I'm like 2 health. He walks up. He gets like the start of the grab animation, freezes, game blue screen, game crashed. I was like, oh shit, no. He thinks I'm a rage quitter.
Yeah, that happened a lot the second round of a lot of my matches. When it always felt like it was going one way or the other. It's like, oh no, that person rage quit. Like, no, this lobby's just trash. Or I just rage. Like, he's gonna think I rage quit.
After about 1 or 2 hours, I think our system decided to just shut off the servers for maintenance and boot people back to offline for a bit.
Yeah, that's what happened. It was like an hour and a half in, I think. That's whenever I gave up. because my friends
Yeah.
from the other server were like, hey, let's just play Uniclear for like an hour while we wait for the server to not suck. I'm like, all right, we did that for a little bit, and then after the room got disbanded, I was like, what am I gonna do now? So I just ended up watching Bleach because I wanted to restart the series. So that was like the perfect. I'm gonna force myself to watch this so I can get back into it because my friend's been talking about it a lot, and makes it seem really, really good. So that was an excuse.
I was browsing Twitter, so I eventually saw the official Arxis post that went, oh, the lobbies are back up. And after they went back up, of course, they were less populated. And they still didn't run as well as the later days did, but it ran slightly better. When the lobbies were just horrible on launch, every lobby was 32 people. And, just basically full, pretty much, or 30 people, or however many you could fit in, before disconnecting and being kicked out.
Yeah.
And the number of errors afterwards was a lot down, but it was still pretty bad afterwards.
Yeah, that day was very rough, and I remember a lot of people just having very, very negative opinions on Strive at that point, because that is the worst first impression you can give a fighting game player, is giving them a lobby that is a massive step down from their earlier ones, which they could have just copy and pasted like they've been doing the past 3 games, 4. And even more so, I think, because I think that started with Central Fiction, I think, or Exard. So 2014 is when they started doing the arcade machines, I think.
That isn't Sign. Wait, no, Sign was different.
Sign was different? Okay. That means they started it with Central Fiction, I think, because Central Fiction had a kind of arcade cabinet thing for their lobbies.
It's Central Fiction before or after Rev?
Before, I think. Central Fiction was 20... It might have been a little bit after, actually, because I think it was 2016. I remember that much. Because I remember playing it at Club, playing the demo of it at Club. But Rev was out at that time, because I played Raven during the first week.
I was not a fan of how they started to initialize matches in this beta. The whole concept of coming up to touching
tips in the CBT
with the weapons to try and initialize a match, while cool in concept, it hardly ever worked for me, and I had to constantly move around the person I wanted to fight and hope that it finally initialized.
I think the biggest issue...
And even when...
Oh, go ahead.
Even when I did, there was always at least one rando that was trying to jump up onto our floor and shove their way between us to try and fight a match with one of us instead.
Yeah,
they get initialized automatically.
Yeah, I think what makes that really hard, or what makes that worse, is that it's 2D this time instead of the 3D. I think if it was 3D with the whole bring up your sword, it would be easier to find your friend and connect with them.
Yeah.
But because it's a 2D side-scrolling style affair now,
there's so little space for everyone.
Everything's crowded, so you're gonna touch tips with somebody that you didn't want to touch tips with, because maybe you want to touch tips with your best friend and do a Kai mirror with your tips. But
all this could have been avoided if they just they can keep the fucking stupid ass 2D Habbo Hotel art style direction, but just give designated stations where people can
just have some arcade
ready
cabs.
up for matches. Yeah, not even arcade cabs. They can just be platforms like they do for Blaze Blue.
They don't even need that. Even if it was just them fighting her, we just walk up to someone and go, fight this person? Yes. They ready up, you walk up to them while you're ready. Firm. That way you're at least locked with that person.
Yeah, some way to just make it just make it actually responsive, so it can be oh, I know who I'm trying to fight, and I know where it's going through, because people are running through with their swords up, and you're trying to get a match started with your friends, and they'll run through and accidentally start initializing a match with one of you, and the system ends up just getting confused, and then nobody gets to play the game.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Fighters even did this. Where one person sets up a room and there's a circle around them, you walk into the circle and you can... And, you still get to walk around and then just fight in the middle of the lobby around the stations where all the menu options are. Which that confused me at first as well, because, I didn't think you could exit the room without going out the exit, but people could stand in front of that, and then you'd be looking at their profile screen instead of clicking X on the exit.
Pool's
Granted,
closed.
you can do that in the menu, but that's not clear.
Yeah, pool's closed, man.
Pool's closed.
I'm actually surprised at the lack of people doing that on the law. There's like one or two people that just made like Twitter posts about it, but there wasn't like,
Yeah,
like
those
too
are like
many.
people actually doing it.
There were more like clown masks running around
Yeah,
than
dude,
like
there's
full
so
clothes
many of
avatar.
those.
Saw a few Luffy's with the straw hat and the red.
There's that. I also
Yeah,
saw
I
somebody
didn't see
doing
any
a
of those.
Polnareff.
You didn't see any Luffy's?
I saw a lot of Polnareffs though.
Okay.
Yeah,
I liked some of the creativity you got with the
Yeah, I
avatars.
like
Like
the
I can see that
customization.
being all right over the characters, but
I like the idea of being able to make myself look like a gumshoe. I thought that was cool. Looking like a detective.
yeah, I like
That's
my
nice.
my jacket with my long hair and sunglasses.
Yeah, like I think the customization of the Habbo Hotel people is really cool. It's done in the worst way possible because you're stuck in a side-scrolling Habbo Hotel hell.
Yeah, the main lobby itself can get some work on. The
There's also
connection, like second day onboard, otherwise for that lobby was fairly tolerable actually.
Yeah, the one thing that I hated, and I still hate even when the beta ended, is that this thing is divided into two halves. There's the first 2/3 of your screen, which is the Habbo Hotel, and then there is
God,
a
yeah.
third screen on the right, which is a news bulletin. And they're not showing anything because it's a beta. Of course, they're not going to have news bulletin stuff. But here's the thing: you can't close it. There's no button that tells you to close it. You're stuck with 2/3 of the screen, making it even smaller to find your character and find who you want to fight. While
Honestly,
looking at this massive thing of Soul and Kai being like, we're gonna fight because this is the Evo trailer. It's so bad.
like real talk for a second, like thinking about how big the lobby is and how many people were in there at one time, let's say around like 24 people, if like everyone was up against each other, like squared off with one other person, would they even be able to fit in like the full area of the
Barely, and that's
Yeah.
not even what happens because they all pile up. But yeah, I couldn't find a space to match with anyone
exactly
when it was full.
like there were occasions where like we were trying to match up with each other, but we just couldn't because there was like no free space except like being shoved off in like the corner and like the balcony or something.
You know,
And that was a
we get to
problem
the-
even on the last day
Yeah.
when it was only like 15 people in the lobby.
We get to be the cool kids, they're in the back playing Yu-Gi-Oh, We got to be the Yu-Gi-Oh kids.
And I know there were some options that like they're being worked on, like the whole friend rival thing that they showed off whenever you try to enter the lobby.
Wait, what?
Yeah, like whenever you were gonna enter the lobby, it's like, here's your friend, here's your rival, and I was like, all right, what? It looks like it's pulling something from Street Fighter V, but which I don't know if that's the best place to be taking inspiration from. I don't even know how that's going to be implemented, but there was some sort of friend rival system that they were going to implement into that.
I mean, that'd be cool if it marks the people so you can find them easier because, oh boy, finding who you're looking for is a little bit of a headache, especially since you yourself are not marked. So if you're in the crowd, guess what? You don't know where you are. Fuck you.
Also, like, you could walk up to someone and say, challenge this person, but that wasn't working in the beta.
Yeah, so
And then
they had
that would have, like, fixed so many of the problems.
that would fix every issue. Well, most of the issues.
Yeah.
And then you don't need
I
to
mean,
touch
there's
tip
always the
CBT.
network connectivity in the just to begin with.
Yeah. You wouldn't need to touch tip CBT. You can just be like, fight me, idiot, and then you fight.
Yes, and that would be so much better,
But I guess not.
but not implemented yet.
Okay, I think we talked about all we needed to talk about the lobby, right?
Yeah, that's plenty. Well, there were a lot of errors to cover.
Yeah, I think we covered all the big issues that we had with it. There's good ideas in it, but it's just so poorly done.
It was not executed as well as it could have been.
But
It's just-
Now, eventually we're gonna learn that the lobby, that's actually the main game. We're actually gonna be playing an indie platformer now.
do I fucking love
I
that?
already
option
saw that
select
tweet,
so
too.
much.
Dude, Guilty Gear 2, baby!
It's just Code Shifters 2.
A platformer.
Guilty Gear 2 would be fun. No, that game's my baby because I grew up wanting to play a mixture of Dynasty Warriors and Warcraft, and I got that. And I got that with like a Guilty Gear skin.
That is very oddly specific.
Yeah, well, I mean, I thought it'd be cool.
Paul's a
You
very
get to
oddly
control an
specific
army
guy.
and you get to control powerful. It's oddly specific about that.
Oh.
But yeah, like, what if it turns out that this whole game is actually just code shifters? Then you have to unlock the Guilty Gear Strive gameplay by playing through the entirety of the story mode, which is like 40 hours long.
Did any of you guys actually play Code Shifters?
No.
Am I the only one that bought that?
No, I looked at it, I'm like, this game is not for me. I'm not even going to attempt it. That's just too much money for me. It's like $15 or $20. I was just like, nah, I'm not going to get it right now.
That's
I
like
tried it out. It's a competent beat 'em up. It's mostly fun as like a Double Dragon kind of game, which the Double Dragon characters are in it, and the Kunio characters are in it.
Yeah, honestly, Garrett, I thought you'd buy the game just for the what's it,
The multiplayer?
16-bit of Gluttony.
Oh, that
To be fair,
Gluttony
that's
remix
garbage.
is really good.
Oh, okay, yeah, the remix. No, but the actual like fighting game mode in that is garbage. You can't block in that game. So, and all of the pixelated characters have a total of 2 moves, and they only have a basic jump. They don't even have like double jump.
Are there like any defensive options?
None. There are no defensive options.
So,
Like no parry, no dashes, no nothing.
You get dashes on your main character, and when you play the main game, you can like tag between characters instantly.
Okay.
So, inside that mode, you have defensive options, but inside any other mode, no. If they would have added a block button, it would have been so much better. But it's
So what you're
basically
telling
just
me-
who has the best neutral on their character.
So what you're telling me is that the best platform fighter continues to be Shovel Knight Showdown.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. I haven't played all the others, but
I can safely say that my favorite one is Shovel Knight Showdown.
that's
As long as we
fair.
can agree that the worst platform fighter is the Guilty Gear Strive Beta.
Yeah.
Yeah. No debate.
Man, now Smash players have something to make fun of.
They also did have a Guilty Gear platform fighter, oddly enough, that was made by a third-party company. But we don't talk about Dust Strikers.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's a DS
Yeah,
game.
on the DS, Dust Strikers exists.
Oh, I'm looking that up.
DS game?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Guilty Gear DS.
They made they let third-party companies make a DS Guilty Gear game and a PSP one. 2 different companies, and the PSP one's a competent beat 'em up. It's actually kind of fun, but like it's just the plot is horribly written, even by Guilty Gear standards. And the DS one is just not good.
So like by Guilty Gear standards,
Like
you
it
mean,
looks like if you made a Flash game of Guilty Gear, basically, and you just like dragged and dropped the sprites into it, and then like bit crushed them.
so just Super Smash Flash 1
Yeah, exactly. Except with Guilty Gear characters.
and no Mr.
And, like
Incredible.
the floor, like the backgrounds and floors look worse somehow than like Super Smash Flash.
Dude, I'm looking at it right now. They literally just ripped the Guilty Gear sprites and put it in a DS.
Yes, yeah,
Seriously?
I'm not kidding.
Oh, what?
It looks awful.
Do you think that like Super Smash Flash, you can unlock Mr. Incredible in Dust Strikers?
Maybe.
My favorite
And
Super
they had
Smash
a
Brothers
competent like
character.
portable Guilty Gear on the Wonder Swan, so it's like, why not use those sprites?
God, this looks nasty.
Guilty Gear Petite. Those sprites are actually adorable. And they had a character that was a Faust's nurse, which I voted for in the survey. I voted for Fanny.
What a fucking wild ride of Guilty Gear Dust Strikers.
I hate it. I hate everything that I'm looking at, though.
Thanks, Paul.
Yep, there you go. Now you know about it.
I love
That
this
and-
tiny 144p Faust running around on my screen.
Yeah, it's really bad. And that and like Blaze Blue Battle Melee Brawler. Blazy Beat.
Blazy
Whatever
Blue?
that's called.
Yeah, Blazy Blue Battle Royale, I think, or something.
Yeah. Or it's like an arena fighter like
Yeah,
Power
on the
Stone.
on the
but-
DSi.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure
I
my
don't know
friend
what
had that
Darksys
game.
was thinking at that point.
I don't think they were thinking at all. I'm pretty sure my friend actually had that game, or he had the 3DS version of it. He had one of the two. Because I remember like him showing it to me and me just being really confused.
Then again, I also voted for spin-off games in the Strive survey, and now I'm remembering that I probably shouldn't have because of those games.
I sure hope we get Guilty Gear Ultimate Battle Royale Smash Mix for the Nintendo
Guilty
Switch.
Gear Vast Edge, the Pachinko Machine visual novel, available on Android and iPhone. Don't ask me how that works.
I hate everything that you're telling us right now.
Right. I guess to try and like get back on track.
Yeah,
We've all talked about like the gameplay of Guilty Gear Strive, but I think it's a really good idea to kind of reflect on why like we all like
get more in depth.
Exart.
Okay, that's a good point.
So I think as of right now, because I only played for like 3.5 hours for Strive, I do prefer Exard more right now. Of course, because I've been playing it for 4 years. But I think the reason why is just the pace of it. Because I like faster paced anime fighters. I don't think that they're necessary or like they need to be fast. I'm not somebody that refuses to play Sam Show because it's slow. I do appreciate the pace that the BlazBlue games and Guilty Gear has. And also all characters are fucking insane in the Guilty Gear games. Specifically in Exard, because like again, I talked about it earlier with Greed Sever, but with Kai, you have so many options you can do off of combo starters. It's not just gotta do slash. With this one, it's like you can do slash, or you can grab them and Roman cancel and then boom, or you can do stun dip or Roman cancel, or you can do Greed Sever and get a free combo without needing to spend any meter because your opponent will never block Kai. They never do.
Yeah, I'll let you guys go on about Exard.
Yeah, I guess it's just like there feels like there's so much more variety, and when I say that, I mean not just like in the characters, because of course like the game is just bigger in general, but just like the toolkit of each character and just like the amount of cool shit you can do with the system mechanics, despite it, some of it being like BS with wires. It's cool, dude, and that's like what I think separates like a game that can be like, because any game can be fun for like a day or two. Like if you give like a FGC player like a new fighting game, they'll have fun with it for like at least a couple days. What I think is that Guilty Gear Strive is fun, but in its current state, I don't think it has enough like capacity for tech to like last throughout the years, in the same way as the other installments have.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a different opinion on that, but I think that's largely influenced by my character choice. Faust, he has some crazy Nage tech stuff, but that takes like a 4,000 level IQ to sort of get at with your items, and you eventually do sort of like come up with your stuff with your items. But his basic game plan is basically punch kick, like punch slash heavy slash pogo going my way, and that's your basic rounded combo. And then if you anti-air someone, you do standing kick, jump cancel, kick, jump cancel, kick slash, heavy slash. And that's basically it. And that's pretty much more mindless than anything I'd have to actually do in Strive. So when people complain about complexity and difficulty, they made my character more difficult. Like, just by nature of having to have different confirms off of the different things you do, to have situational awareness of the juggles, and come up with stuff. I wasn't actually able to actually pull off the combos I knew I could inside the demo, and I started putting things together as I was going through it later and later, but only on a very surface level. So, for me, my experience is going to be wildly different from a lot of other people's. That said, I've gotten kind of tired of a lot of very combo-heavy games that have been coming out recently, and I don't have the time to really learn those combos. And I'm also a person who doesn't learn combos quickly. So I prefer sort of more neutral, heavy games these days. I thought I was going to get really heavy Sam Show, but that didn't really quite stick for me because I need people to play that with, and the online wasn't very good. So, like, if the online was good, or if more people just locally had been willing to play it with me, I would have gotten more into it. But I just remember showing up to locals once, and there was nobody there at all. So I was just like, all right, I guess I'm not going to be able to really get into this game. So, That's sort of where I stand on that. Xrd, I did really enjoy the flow of that, and that's where I started learning the game more and actually putting combos together a lot more. Otherwise, I was just basically doing the basic grounded stuff and learning my neutral around my items and how to Roman cancel and stuff like that. And even Xrd from Accent Core Plus and Sharp Reload streamlined a lot of things because the cancel or the timing on Roman cancels was very, very strict in those games. Like, you had like 5 frames to do it in. So, and it always cost 50% meter. So if you Roman canceled and you didn't know exactly how to capitalize on it, then you basically didn't get anything. Might as well use a random super in the middle of the round. So it's hard to talk about that with like out sounding like a complete scrub, but a lot of the changes in the game feel like they were made for me, and then I hear people complain about them.
Yeah, I think that's fair, honestly, because I do know.
Oh, also one other last point. Sorry. And one thing I always struggled with in Blaze Blue was having different confirms. Like, if I start a jab, then like with Kokono, I can't do like crouching heavy into forward heavy into my punch rocket thingy, hold that to cancel it, and then go into air combo. That doesn't work if you have a light starter, but that works if you start with a medium. But I didn't really have a clear indication that that was the case. And now with the big old like counter, like flashing all that stuff, now I know exactly what I'm going in position.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, that actually helps me a lot. In Blaze Blue, that always gave me trouble, and I could never get in. And the combos in that game were too long for me to figure out, and I felt like I always had thing wasn't optimal anyway.
Honestly, the counter fucked me over more often than not.
Really?
Because the amount of times like I'd get like a counter hit with Axel, especially like a counter hit like 2S or counter hit 6K. The freeze and slow mo would like make me fuck up the timing on Rensen afterward. And I would just fuck that up.
I gotcha.
So I think like it has some good intentions. Like you just said, it helps you with like some of your confirms, but it's a little overbearing in my opinion.
I gotcha. Like it might be a little much, but it does help me. Like they might tone down the time stop and the noise.
Yeah,
and
like
it flashing it on the screen, sort of like they might tone down the combo counter. But those things are big quality of life changes for how the game wants me to do my combos, which is you don't get a whole lot off of like jab that's just a normal hit. That just gives you advantage in neutral and a little bit of damage on your opponent. And then you're supposed to come up with it like all right, how situation now? Is this even a good matchup for this sort of thing? Or should I have been playing a more zony game against my opponent in the first place? So I think it forces you to think about those things more, which is what I'm good at. It's weird. It's a Guilty Gear 2 situation all over again, where I love it, and then just everybody that it's not another fighting game that's like the last one.
I've seen like 3 people on Twitter so far calling Guilty Gear Strive the Mario Sunshine of the series.
Yeah, I don't know. What is Mario Sunshine like beloved by certain people and then
hated by most people? It's like it's the black sheep of the 3D platformers. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my weird take on it.
I think all my friends like Sunshine actually.
I fucking love Sunshine.
I know speedrunners love it.
I can't remember what I thought about it.
Speedrunners nowadays absolutely love the game in retrospect.
Because like a Discord server's like, yo, what'd you guys think about Mario Sunshine? I'm like, I thought it was okay, and I think everyone liked it, but I can't remember if I liked it or not. Anyway, that's getting off topic because I don't think I should be talking about Sunshine right now.
Dude, I love Sunshine. Got some good shit.
I mean, there's some good stuff in there. Like the Isle Delfino Plaza theme is pretty good.
Well, I mean, like I think it's just like some people didn't like how it was an island aesthetic for the entire game because usually like Mario games like step it up or like change it up like levels. But I fucking love island aesthetic. That game was just like made for me, dude.
Big cozy. Except for when it wasn't cozy and it was hard as fuck, but
don't worry about it.
For me, I'm kind of indifferent on the changes made in Strive. Like, all things considered, I'm new to Xrd as well. There's a lot new for me for both Drive and Rev 2, that trying to decide which between the two is that I prefer is a bit more confusing. At the moment, I like a lot of the stuff included in both of them, but weirdly enough, I kind of prefer how Strive plays and feels. Like, obviously, I said earlier that I prefer how some of the combos feel in Rev 2, but the visuals and the feelings of impact that I can get out of the Strive beta so far, I really like what I've been able to get out of that so far. It was a really fun time when I was, well, able to play it. And while it's not perfect just yet, like, some of the mechanics are a bit wonky and the UI's weird, I'm really enjoying it. I can't wait to see what the rest of the development looks like for the game.
I swear the UI is almost good, in my opinion.
It's almost good. Like,
I almost like it.
I like it better than what I saw at the Arc Revo demo showcase.
Like, it still looks very placeholder, but I think that's what's going on. Like, everything. I'm starting to get a good idea now. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead, dude.
I'm starting to get a better idea as to what they're trying to go for. It's just missing a little something that I'm not exactly able to put into words just yet.
For me,
how do you feel about the moving portraits? Sorry, I just want to ask that real quick.
Moving portraits?
I don't mind them, but I feel like they will eventually get annoying.
How about you, Zach?
I truthfully don't mind them too much. I've hardly ever seen them, to be perfectly honest. I just kind of notice it once in a while, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a problem that people keep mentioning. Like, it was more obvious in the Arc Revo demo for me, and with this beta, it was a lot more tolerable, but I truthfully prefer it to be stationary in terms of what other fighting games have it like. But it's fine. That's all I really got to say about it.
Yeah, it's hard for me to really have an opinion on that part. The risk gauge being on it's a bit wonky for me, but that's the biggest complaint I have.
Yeah, the only thing I really don't like about the UI is that I do think that the risk gauge and burst should be a little bit bigger. Like, they don't need to be, like, massive like they were in Exard, but I do wish they were bigger, because there's points where I'm like, oh yeah, I can burst, and I forget about that, or like I look at it, I'm like, am I about to get my burst back, and I can't tell?
I completely forget about burst because of how small it is and the fact that it's attached to the moving portraits.
Okay. Actually, I kind of disagree with that, because I think that, like, having all your UI elements kind of crowded up there, like, makes sense functionally, because since you have your risk gauge, where your health is at, and your burst meter all in, like, one spot, and that one spot, like, moves with your health, they can afford to make it smaller, because your eyes only need to go to one spot to get all that information. The only issue is that it looks ugly as fuck.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so, like, functionally, I really like it, not gonna lie.
I didn't have a problem keeping track of it, so I just wanted to hear your guys' opinion on it. And elements like that don't bother me as much, whereas, like, some of the things that were bigger actually did help me. It's flashing positive on the screen. That's helpful if I didn't already know that was probably.
Dude, positive penalty.
Yeah, positive for knocking you through the wall. Positive. Or it also does flash negative when you run away too much, or it flashes danger right before you're about to get negative. That was honestly helpful because Faust needs to run away from some characters. So, I don't have a DP. I have to rely on meter to be able to do that. And I've got high mobility because I'm one of the circle on my air dash. So people complain about the new air dash, I'm like, what do you mean? Faust is great. I can even influence the direction in the air and flawless defense cancel it while I'm over someone.
Do you get a fucking Neko Arc air dash? Get out of here.
Yeah, that's great. No, it's faster than Neko Arcs. Makes it actually useful. And I've also got good aerial buttons. Like, they made Faust's punch a lot better in the air. It's actually godlike. It's a good air-to-air, and you a jump in, but you don't get a whole lot off of it, other than like tick throw situations, which is good in the Axel matchup. But like, let's say you do that on like a Soul or a Kai, you're gonna get DP the moment you land on the ground. Or if you do that on Potemkin, you're gonna get like Potemkin Buster because they're ballsy enough to go for that.
Man, I can't believe that Faust's true name is actually John Meltyblood.
Oh my god. But dude, I was actually super surprised. Because I played, I don't know, like the spread of characters you guys played against, but I played mainly against like Kais and Souls throughout the entire beta.
Yeah, mine was mainly Souls because of my friend. I did stuff because he played Soul for the most part. I think I played with him the most. I played some Faust because of Paul, and I played a few maids because of them. And out of random like online people, I think I ran into maybe a Soul and like a Chip. No,
Okay.
Oh, I ran into I fought Potemkin too. So I guess I fought every character, but I mainly fought Soul.
Random online, I fought everybody except I only fought like 2 Chips. And you were literally the only Axel I fought. Like, I did not fight any other Axels before you. I gotta admit, that matchup's actually really fun. At first, I was like, oh god, what do I do about this?
Yeah, there's only a few of them. Honestly, I was kind of hoping I'd get to play at least one Axel mirror just for the memes. But I wasn't able to do that, sadly. I felt like a proud father, though. Seeing all these Kai players resisting the urge to DP on every single wake up. But then,
who would do that?
Yeah, the last Kai I played, it was like some rando Kai, DP'd on round start twice, DP'd like in between my jump in and my 6P like a bunch of times, and he was just like fucking dice rolling motherfucker.
Man, who would
like
DP
this.
round start?
Like,
who would do such a thing as a Kai player? I don't
this guy
really
is
understand.
fucking playing the human condition on his.
Are you sure that wasn't me?
Huh? No, it wasn't you. It was some rando. Like, you
Okay,
don't,
'cause I
you don't
remember-
understand. This guy DP'd like every 5 seconds.
Okay, because I remember
Like,
DPing
you
round
at
start
least
every time.
showed some constraint.
Oh wait, that's you weren't just playing against one of the AIs.
It felt like one of the AIs DP. The fucking AI Kai that just DPs 3 times in a row mid-screen. I remember I was playing against the computers on the first day of beta. He DPs once mid-screen. I'm like, oh shit, I can punish this. And I do Axel 5P, and then he DPs a second time, and it hits, and I got really sad.
That's depressing.
Dude, my hitboxes really do feel like hurt boxes sometimes.
I can feel that. That's why Mix is good against you, because that's also sort of the case on that move, but I guess it doesn't matter when we both have big hurt boxes.
Yeah. Okay, dude, you have a big ass hurt box, but your crouch animation low profile so much of my stuff.
It low profile so much. I've seen clips of it low profile in Kai's DP, so that's even a thing.
That is.
It's like Soul's crouching dust hitbox. There's the joke. It's like in every Guilty Gear that Soul's best anti-air is crouching dust. His sweep.
Yeah, no, I definitely saw some of that in the beta.
Thanks, Soul. Everyone's favorite. Also, speaking of Soul, it's really cool how in Strive some characters have changed a little bit from the games. You know, how Faust becomes more complicated. May becomes a little bit more of a rushdown. You know, Kai gets shock state. Soul becomes a grappler.
You're fucking right about that. Wild Throw does so much damage. It's terrifying when he puts you in the corner, too. You do not want to be in the corner against a Soul. And it's just block string gun flame, block string gun flame, block string fake gun thing, run up Wild Throw. You're like,
Right, he has a fake gun flame as well.
Yeah, dude.
Or he just builds enough meter and does what one Soul did to me, where he supers, Roman cancels the super, and then throws you as Wild Throw. It does just as much damage as if it would have hit.
Wow, I hate it.
Yeah, it's awful.
The fucking crackhead classic. My god, dude.
You did that to me too with
I know, I did do that to you. There's like one time I supered mid-screen on purpose. Like, I knew you wouldn't get hit by like the initial circle, but I knew you'd block the part where he throws the chains. I just immediately like RC command grab.
One thing I will admit about RC is it is good for canceling moves and the animations, but it's not as nutty as YRC was it, where like time stops your opponent for a little bit until you start doing something else. Not unless you're in the circle and that circle slows people down. It's one thing I noticed. So that's kind of a quality of life change, but it's also like a buff to rushdown characters. As rushdown characters benefit from that a lot more than zoners do.
I mean, are you excited to deal with Milia with that new Roman cancel?
Which part of it? Because there's a lot to the Roman cancel system in this game. They basically just shoved a bunch of mechanics in behind it. Like,
just imagine
what used to be called dead angle, and nobody ever used in Xrd, is now Roman cancel on block. So, like, if you're blocking something and you Roman cancel, you do, like, an attack that blows the person off of you. And it's the same as alpha counter, basically. And the reason nobody used that in Xrd is you had a 25-meter option that could just reject someone's thing and then get you a full combo for 25-meter. So for half the meter, you got a better option, and you still had to spot the right time to do, like, dead angle if you wanted to do those properly. So it just became sort of a useless option. And I think that's kind of, like, people complain about, like, oh, Blitz Shield's not in the game anymore. It's like, yeah, because it was kind of overpowered, because offense was also just ridiculously nutty inside Xrd, and, like, being jabbed, when people complain about Gatlings being gone, just being hit by a jab in the wrong place could lead up to huge damage, and they wanted to sort of get rid of that. So I see why they did that.
Yeah, honestly,
I don't think it's necessarily better or worse either way. I just think it's different.
Yeah, I mean,
but a lot of people don't like it.
Yeah, every Guilty Gear game was like every new mainline Guilty Gear is different, because X is different from XX and XX is different from Exard. Because I do remember hearing that whenever Sign was coming out, people were like pissed at it. People were really mad at what they were doing, how they were changing the game, and how people are also pissed at Elfelt coming out. But and now history will repeat itself probably of people being really mad at it, and then probably later down the line, people are gonna be like, yeah, Strive is okay.
And they've done that for every ArcSys game so far. They did that with Blaze Blue Cross Tag. There's still old Blaze Blue players that are kind of angry about it.
Yeah, that's where the Blaze Boomer came from.
Yeah, there you go.
The amount of like Blaze Blue players that are like, oh, BB Tag baby game. I don't want to see this.
Yep, and I'm gonna admit, Blaze Blue Cross Tag is too hard for me. I can't play a puppet character. Two puppet characters. It's just really difficult.
Just get rid of, just lobotomize half of your brain and pick Seth. Easy.
Even if you say stuff like that, I've still got to learn like proper cross combos and how to properly resonance and how to even, which is a lot for me.
I just do what I do and don't.
Yeah, I guess.
Just pick Hazama so you get a Hazama command grab super.
I wish he still had Path of Peace, then I might just do that. But
you can do Path of War.
Path of War?
Yeah, it's Yosuke Blitztank.
Oh, okay. I mean, there's still a lot of fun stuff around the game. I'll mess around with it casually, but I'm not gonna like search for tournaments for the game and stuff like that.
They're actually doing the online tournament series pretty soon.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and I'll watch it. I'll definitely watch it.
It's like watch. Official ArcSys stuff. They made a page about it on, I think it's like on the main PlayStation page.
Oh yeah, I just saw that game. Actually. Like
There's like $100 cash prize and stuff.
That's cool.
That's cool, yeah.
I remember signing up for one of those for like Injustice 2 because I'm like, yeah, this is a good excuse to make me to play the game. They get me to play the game, and then I never did. I forgot about it. I'm like, I don't want to do this today.
Oh yeah, one last thing I wanted to mention. A lot of people say like this new Guilty Gear is for beginner players. I think it's honestly for intermediate players. Like I think it's for people who played like a lot of Grand Blue, and then they're like, all right, I want something with a little bit of phones. Then they move over to like this Guilty Gear. I think that's what their target audience is.
So people who are like playing Grand Blue and they're just like, but where is the sauce?
Yeah. Where is my mid-screen juggles into crazy stuff?
Where can I get a game where Percival's command grab can delete your health bar?
Yeah, there you go.
And here we go.
Like, I honestly think that's their target audience, though, because like it's not super beginner friendly with you losing so much life so quickly, and there's still a lot of complicated systems to it. But a lot of stuff in it is still streamlined, like putting everything behind RC rather than having Dead Angle and Blitz Shield, which I'll be honest, most new Guilty players and most people learning the game forget they exist, and then they forget Burst exists, and then they forget like RC exists, and they're playing it like any other sort of normal anime fighter until they figure those things that even are in the game.
Yeah, I'm also really hoping that they also continue to do that paring down of tech, not tech, but you know what I mean, like paring down of the complicated stuff in Exard to this one. Because I think getting rid of all of them and putting all under Roman cancel is a great idea, and I really want them to continue doing that, specifically with all the dumb character-specific bullshit that Exard had, like the wake up, how every character has a different wake up animation if they're facing up or down. So then you have to like
different character weights and stuff.
Yeah, like, hey, Raven has a 25 frame wake up if he's facing down, but if he's facing up, he has a 27 frame. So you have to like account for that for every character.
My goodness.
It's stupid. I remember talking about that. I'm like, I think that's a thing, and then I look it up. I'm like, oh, every character has two. I just remembered it being one. No, each character has two wake up things, and that's just excessive, I think.
That's nice.
There were reasons for it. It was a way of balancing the game. So like a character with a DP would take longer to wake up, whereas like Venom would wake up faster because he doesn't have one. Giving the person less time to set up for Oki so they wouldn't get stuck in as hard of situations.
I mean, at that point, just make it to where it was like, make the wake up times different then, but just don't make it to where it's like if you're facing up or down. That's definitely like excessive, I think.
Yeah, but I think they're finding other ways to balance it if that's not in the game. I didn't actually I haven't looked at enough footage to be able to tell if that's still a thing. And I haven't practiced enough combos against enough characters to know.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it's at least like pared down a little bit. I'm also hoping that for the defense modifiers and guts, because whenever you start thinking about it, it gets a little bit crazy. With like in Exard, every character had 420 blaze it health, and then their health would increase based on their defense modifier and their guts. But guts is still in the game, so I'm hoping that like they've changed that and just made it to where every character has like different health but guts at the end. That's what I'm hoping for.
I thought the defense modifier was a decent way of making it to where there wasn't different health values, but like that's how Chip dies so quickly, is his defense modifier is low. And it's not like, I don't know why they just keep the health universal, but I'm like, it just might be something that makes it easier for equations or harder. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm guessing it'll be easier if every character is 420.
I mean, I guess
it's just down to a design choice. You just have to do the math a certain way, and that's just what they picked.
It's just such like a stable mechanic at this point. I can't imagine Guilty Gear with that.
Like, defense and guts isn't too bad, but it is kind of hard to explain that both exist. I can kind of get that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, like, do other fighting games use gut?
Yes.
Because, like...
technically, the Persona games have guts with Awakening.
That doesn't really... I guess that counts, yeah, but, like, no game has it, like, as
strong as...
like, noticeable as Guilty Gear, where if you have, like, Chip at, like, 5 health, you can do, like, a 20-hit combo, and he's, like, still at 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Guilty Gear is the strongest contender of having the biggest guts, but I think guts does exist in other fighting games. Because I remember Brandon talking about that with certain games with guts. So it does exist. It's just, again, Guilty Gear probably is the biggest offender of having big guts for big damage.
And it's hard to sort of pick out individual titles and be like, oh yes, it definitely exists inside like Melty Blood, Actress Again, whatever,
Code, current
Million
code,
Arthur.
Unity Edition, Extreme, Neko Arc, version 2.0.
Ignition, Extreme Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say
Like, there's just so many titles.
Guts.
Which one?
I think Eki Bunko actually. I think that might actually have guts in it.
Yeah, maybe. I know there's... Yeah, that one probably actually does. I don't even know how trump cards work in that game, so...
Don't worry, I don't either. They're dumb. Because of the two different versions of trump cards, which I think is stupid. If you get an overhead or you get an install.
Yeah, I'm not going to worry about it. It's French Bread's smallest title, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, it is, because I don't think nobody talks
next to
about
that
it.
boxing game that they invented.
Yeah, I don't think anybody talks about Dengeki that much. It's like mainly Melty Blood and especially Unist. Anyway, though.
Yeah, Melty Blood and Unist. No one talks about Gloves on Fight or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Speaking of gloves on, let's get our gloves on to talk about if we've filled out the beta survey. Good segue. Go me.
Yeah, you did it. I filled it out right as soon as the beta ended earlier today.
That's what I did too. Did you fill it
I've
out?
already gotten it.
I've had it open on my monitor this entire time.
Okay. Yeah, it's surprisingly lengthy. It took me like 5 to 10 minutes, I think, to fill it out because
Can
it's
you do me a
44 questions.
favor and make one of your votes for character be Fanny, please?
Nah, dude. I know it would be awful for the game, but I voted for
For who?
Abba.
Oh, ABBA?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, I also voted for ABBA. She's great.
Yeah.
I think I voted for all
Don't you like go on Super Saiyan mode and then go on Super Saiyan and like every
This is
single
further
hit you
beyond.
do like reduces your own health, but you get reverse beat and wait, it's
And
not
armor.
not even that. No, it's just you can cancel anything into anything.
You just get mad fucking damage.
And like you can sprint across the screen as fast as Chip. But you also have like the range of like Potemkin basically. It's pretty ridiculous.
What I do want to know though is I'm not too familiar with like Guilty Gear lore and like all the characters. I'm sure you would know, Garrett. Why does it say Robokai? The underneath it says Robokai.
Oh, because
I know
there's
that
different,
because in
there's
Azuka there is a
there's
scientist
Robokai
who
Army.
escaped.
Okay.
No, there's a scientist that escaped from the Post-War Administration Bureau, and he took a copy of Robokai with him. And Robokai Mark II has all the moveset of the rest of the cast, but you have to interchange them and like modify him.
He's also the that's Mark II is also the one in Exard, right, in the story mode.
No.
No, that's just
not
regular.
him.
That's just regular.
No, that's
Robokai.
just regular Robokai. Robokai Mark II wears a red coat and has like black hair.
Okay. Yeah, there's but yeah, there's I do know that there's like a promotional art, I think, at least of Kai being on top of like a giant army of dead Robokais. I mean, that's one of his endings, I think. And
Yeah, that's one of his endings in Sharp Reload.
With just like an army of them. But yeah, I voted for both Robokais. Obviously, because since the viewers don't know, my running joke for the past 2 years has been if Robokai gets announced at in any event, any Guilty Gear game, I'm dropping Kai and maining him. I've said that since Evo of 2018. The entire time I'm like, dude, if they announce Robokai, I'm gonna play him. And then they're like, hey, Arc Revo. I'm like, cool.
Yeah, Robokai is just a custom character though, where you can literally just swap in and out moves from other characters. But they're animated like Robokai.
But hear me out.
So like, it looks kind of weird. Like Stun Dipper, he turns into a little race car and then you shoot forehead instead for like the slash. Stuff like that.
Perfect, I love him.
Or like the bubble that Milia does, he like blows bubble gum and then sends it around.
But hear me out. What if Robokai gets added to Strive, but he plays
that would be cool.
But he plays like Exard Kai.
Yeah, okay.
You have great Severback?
Yes.
He has to have something with his overheat meter. He needs to keep that mechanic. So that was fun to play around with. Where like, if you push forward heavy, you get an absolutely broken, fast, giant, disjointed hitbox move. But only if you have a large amount of heat. And you can build heat by doing your forward punch, which is like a shotgun blast with upper body and boom, as well as just like your other special moves and normals. So you're constantly having to manage that level during the fight. And if you overheat too much, then you explode and your opponent gets a combo.
Nice.
There's also a super you can do that like builds your meter, but then at the end of the super you explode into like a bunch of electricity. And it has like the hitbox of a burst, but it's also like its own attack.
Yeah, so Robo Fortunes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, it's basically Robo Fortunes.
Especially
Yeah,
since
he's
Robo
got
Fortune
something
is
like
a Guilty
that
Gear
where like he
character.
overcharges his battery. And it's fun because you just start getting meter rapidly, and all of his moves are EX moves, and will eat his meter up. And if you don't have any meter, they just suck horribly. So you either have to command grab your opponent, which steals meter, or lay a carpet on the floor and then just stand under it. And you don't get meter through normal means. You can't run forward from do attacks on people for meter. A very interesting yet wonky character.
Detroit become Robokai.
I used to play Robokai. I also used to play Zappa, but Zappa doesn't need.
Yeah,
I've shown you guys that clip.
Bring Zappa back.
Have you
That's
seen
what
that
we
clip I
need
showed you, where it's
instead.
basically like infinite, like it's an
Yeah.
infinite partner tag from Blaze Blue Cross tag.
Like he gets a sandwich situation with the dog, and then he just wins.
Yeah, and then he just wins because you can't escape that block stun. The dog's a disjoint. Like you can kill the dog, but like it's really hard, and you can't kill the dog if it's not attacking.
Yeah.
And it's basically just infinite cross combo. Is what that is.
Have you ever just wanted Chaos, but as a TOD?
Yeah, then Ghost, he gets really good zoning, and the other one, like, he turns into Dulcim. Or no, he turns into, like, Chaos, basically. Where, like, the sword just goes out, and it stays out as you do attacks with it, and then, like, it'll slowly come back to you whenever you're not doing something with it.
Yeah, no, please put Zappa in Stripe so someone can pull up some bullshit like that, get up and just say, Footsie!
Like, Footsies are fresh, yo.
Here's the thing, though. Without any of those, he sucks. His standing heavy slash is an overhead that's minus on hit. It's like unsafe minus on hit.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, I guess, like, while we're still on the topic of Stripe, can we go over, like, the one thing I think they did extremely well, which is, like, the little introduction videos for the, each... Where, where the guy is, like, doing his best impression of the Nintendo Direct English translation.
Shock state.
Yeah.
Heavenly
Like,
Potemkin Buster.
I've still been cracking up at, like, the Axel video where the screen goes white for a second and he just goes, snail.
I do think it's funny, like, if you watch the Soul one, and this was, like, put on Perfectly Cut Fighting Games Twitter. It's like, Soul is a very offensive character who likes going in and rushing people's down. And then Soul, like, backdashes, and Kai just jumps in on him and hits him.
Nice. I mean, like, some of the clips are like that, yeah, but, like, the reason why I like them so much is not just because they're, like, you know, detailed and give a good introduction to the character, is that they tried to sneak in as much, like, high-level gameplay clips as they could.
Yeah.
Where, like, interactions that they thought were cool, or, like, like, counter-hit combo confirms into, like, 60%. Yeah, I loved seeing that in those videos. Like, it really got me hyped up trying the game.
I think they did a really good job with it. My theory was that when they visited Riot Studios, Riot's like, yeah, here spotlights are very important for showing off what a character can do. And then showed them some of those, and then they're like, do something similar with our game.
That's right.
And it's brilliant, and I love it, and, like, I even looked at Faust and was like, alright, what can Faust do? Mix can be, like, kind of safe if you space it right. I'm like, alright, time to try that.
Yeah, I really like that too. Just saying, like, what them telling you, like, hey, this might be safe, maybe.
Yeah,
It's a nice
this
little
is what Shock State is.
shock state.
They didn't really explain the Afro mechanic. I think that would have been good, but so like they're not perfect, but
Yeah, no, they did explain it.
oh, they did. Okay.
Yeah, how it like and now that's one of the reasons I liked it so much because they even went in depth like, oh yeah, Afro makes your hitbox bigger, so you can use it to try and land JS and JK a lot easier.
Yeah. You can space out with jump heavy. Well, I can't space out with jump heavy slash against Axel because that's supposed to be the move that outranges everyone else, but it's slower than all of your moves that outrange me. So I have to play Gorilla against you.
Okay.
I can Gorilla for more ranges though, so that's good still. My
Did you guys see the only tier list that matters for Stripe?
Yeah.
The Gorilla tier list.
Yeah.
Yeah, where like Soul is King Primate. You got Kai and May, I think, were in Gorilla. Like Chip was in Chimp, and then Axel is just a monkey.
And then Faust is a cryptid.
Yeah.
That's pretty accurate.
Also, a really interesting thing that I think will be fun to talk about in the survey is that the more you go down, you eventually hit a thing asking, hey, what franchises do you want Guilty Gear to be with? And then, with the character stuff, it also asks you, hey, do you want a guest character?
Yeah, that stuff's kind of neat. I just can't think of there being like a guest. I don't know of anyone who has.
I mean, for me, I just went with I just went for the older reliable and just said like Blaze Blue, fuck it, and then just put Ragna as the guest character because I'm like whatever. Speaking of, I looked on Twitter for like a solid second and I saw GC Yoshi post a tweet that's saying guest character, please specify, and in his responses, Arakune.
Actually,
yes.
You know what I think would be great? You put like one of those Lethal League characters in. Have someone play like baseball with them. And they can also do that while playing bomb soccer.
Make it so they can like summon one of like Faust soccer bombs on command.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, funky fresh beats, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I would like since you have you no longer have like ungodly silly Faust, that means you can put in Candyman.
Yeah, there you go.
And
have another wacky character. I'm just trying to think who has enough zippers to fit in with Guilty Gear.
Oh, Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, there you go. Put Sora in. I don't want that.
I don't want them in a fighting game.
You don't want Sora in a fighting game?
I mean, I'll lie and say I don't.
Can you imagine?
Put Mickey inside Guilty Gear.
Give him a
but I'm afraid of
but only Kingdom Hearts Mickey. In his introduction, he just walks up and says, "Have you heard about
the Door to Darkness?"
Did someone mention the Door to Darkness?
Mickey!
So dumb. I don't need that in Guilty Gear. Thank you very much.
Dude, no, you could have Mickey be edgy. You know, like whenever Goofy like died in 2, he's like, they'll pay. It's like that.
Goes and nearly sounds like he's gonna kill a man.
That's his intro. He's gonna be like, they'll pay. Oh.
It's a perfect fit.
And just make him play like Charlotta, but as Mickey.
I can't honestly think of a legitimate crossover character. Like, I mean, Blaze Blue. I mean, it's Blaze Blue. That's probably one of the easiest games for Arc System to actually put in there because it's their own property.
Yeah, the only thing that sucks about that is that it's going to be really hard to, because I remember them talking about that before. It's going to take a while till they can actually cross over, because apparently it's either Daisuke or Mori that's like, no, we can't have Guilty Gear cross over with Blaze Blue because Blaze Blue's story is practically done. Guilty Gear still has Exard going on, so we can't really cross over. And it's like,
that sounds like a Daisuke thing.
All right, like you can make it non-canon. Like, come on.
Yeah. It's whatever.
Just give me Soul in a Blaze Blue game, or give me Ragna in a Guilty Gear game. Like, come on.
Wait, but that means you'd have to see 3D Ragna.
Yeah. And?
I don't know.
Your point is?
We've already seen 3D Ragna inside the lobbies for Blaze Blue Cross Tag. It'll look just like that.
Think about it this way, James. You get a hotter Ragna in Guilty Gear.
Ragna's not that hot, though.
He's pretty attractive.
I wouldn't say that, no.
Put Kagura in.
Easy.
Yeah, no, Kagura, that's a hot man right there.
Kagura or Amane. They're both hot men,
Dude,
but
you
in
can
different ways.
put Amane in, and then when you put Bridget in, you get the cross-dress squad.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, no, Amane would really like Bridget. Be like, hey, you should join my carnival troupe. And then you'd be like, I'm an entertainer, and you were made for me.
Dude, everybody is thirsting for the trap right now.
My opinion on characters is based solely on what I hear on the internet and looks and character design alone. Like, the returning characters, I don't know them for jack shit. I put Bridget and Robokai because Bridget, cute, Robokai, well, you've been kind of asking me to put it on my list, and I just said, fuck it.
Yeah, I made a deal with you. I said that if you put Robokai on your list, I'd put Bridget on mine.
Well, I could select more than one person, so I did both.
Yeah, no.
Did any of us not put Bridget?
Hmm?
That is the real question.
Did you put Bridget on yours, James, or not?
What?
Did you put Bridget on yours or not?
I just put ABBA, that's it.
Oh, you didn't put any others?
I thought you can only choose one.
No, you can
No,
choose
you can
multiple.
pick multiple. You can pick
5.
everyone on the list, including Daryl.
Honestly, my dream for the future is if ABBA gets put in, I'll play ABBA and I'll make like a combo video with ABBA in the back. So that way you can have like ABBA like blood pack combos with just Mamma Mia, here we go again, and then I activate the blood pack.
That's honestly what she's named after, because they
Yeah.
name a lot of
Oh, yeah, I know.
moves
Or you can
after
have,
band names.
Or you can pick a song from the movie Mamma Mia and have Pierce Brosnan singing in the background while you do a combo. Because God knows he can sing.
Have you guys ever had that moment before where you're listening to a song and you're like, God, this would work so well with the combo music?
Yeah.
Like, the only time I ever like wanted to actually go out there and try and make a CMV was like the one Neil Cicerega song, where it's some
Wonderwall?
huh? No, not Wonderwall. It's fuck. What is it? It's that one Linkin Park song. In the end, it doesn't really matter, whatever.
Yeah.
But remixed with like some this 80s like disco beat, or not disco. It's just really funky, dude, and it works so well with like over edited video style.
Easy,
I think.
just or you can do the best choice and do a Potemkin combo music video while Bustin' is in the background.
I'd be alright with that.
But no, I get that a lot whenever because I remember listening to Poets of the Fall. There's a song called My Dark Disquiet that came out recently with Control, and every time I listen to it, I'm like, this will work well as a Hazama Adachi combo video, but then I realized I don't know how to do a whole lot of combos, so I'm like, never mind.
I don't learn the hard way.
Alright, I found it. The song is The End by Neil Cicerega. So fucking good, dude.
Trying to get those bagpipes ready.
Like, it is the only time you'll see me genuinely like a song with Linkin Park's vocals in it.
Yeah, I've never really cared too much about Linkin Park. I guess just because I never was like in that phase, I guess. I think their
Well,
music's
there's like
fine.
the super edge fizz.
Yeah, I don't think I ever had a super edge phase actually, now that I think about it. I had an
That
asshole
was-
phase. I had an asshole phase, but not like an edge one.
I listened to them when I was like middle school, but that's about it. And after I felt like I had grown out of them after.
Yeah, I know some of my friends.
I
are
was
still
too
into
busy
them.
being edgier with heavy metal.
It's just not my not my cup. There is one thing recently actually that I really liked that had Linkin Park in it.
Yeah.
Fuck. It was a mixture of a handful of Linkin Park songs and Infinite's theme from Sonic Forces.
I really do
God.
think that Linkin Park shines when you put them in a remix with just like an instrumental that's not just like doom and gloom.
Yeah.
Because like it's just so good, dude. Like they're singing with just like a brighter music in the back.
Right.
Okay. Do you think we hit all the notes for
Yeah, I think we
Destroy?
got. Pretty sure that was all the talking points.
Yeah, and it's been like 2 hours, so.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah,
like...
we got a good chat in.
Alrighty. I think I'm good then to wrap it up. Thank you.
Yeah, tune into episode. Oh, sorry.
No, you go ahead. Go do your joke.
How dare you?
I was just gonna say, make sure to tune into episode 2. Here comes a new fucking Ford, where we get guest star Sean Ford from popular podcast "Fucking with the."
I got to chill early.
Yeah.
Still though, thank you
Can't
for
wait for
deciding
more
to
VPN sponsorship.
listen to us talk about Guilty Gear Strive. If you like this and want to hear more, there will be more soon. There will probably be shorter episodes, I think, maybe. I don't know. Depends on what the topic is. But yeah, keep that in mind. I am Garrett. I was joined by James,
Woo!
Paul,
Hello?
and Zach. Did you say anything, Zach?
I said ye. Did I not
Okay.
pick it up?
No.
Yeah, no, it was a little
I
quiet.
just heard breathing. I was very confused.
Honestly surprised Zach didn't just say "fuck you" right then.
I'm trying to calm it down. Leave me alone.
All right,
You're
but
fine.
yeah, thank you for listening, and I will hopefully hear all of you people next time.